Guys, in this training video, we're going to be covering increasing your daily protein intake without doubling your calories. The sooner you get up to a acceptable level of protein, acceptable to high level of protein intake per day, you will find that your adherence to your overall calories and therefore the result and the subsequent fat loss that will come from that will go through the roof. I cannot stress this enough of how important this is, and hence why I make multiple training videos on it. This is so simple, this stuff, and you'll have heard me repeat this to people in check-ins. Now, the rule for me is if I have to repeat something, I'll record it and I'll make a training video on it, so then it's accessible for now and forever. And for clients coming into the program, it's a common thing that we come up against, and it's not a difficult solution. Like, it's not hard at all. First thing, you're going to review your MyFitnessPal, review your food log, and just look at your day and go, what were the foods that were high in protein on that day? So we'll look down the protein column and going, geez, what was high in protein there? Okay, chicken was pretty high, yogurt was pretty high. Okay, we don't need to add another high protein snack, another high protein, low calorie snack. You just make your main meals bigger, which means scale up the protein sizes. So literally, if you had 80 grams of chicken, make it 160. Like, double the amount of chicken, double the amount of yogurt, double the amount of beef, double the amount of tuna, whatever it is, whatever that protein source is in that meal. When you go down the path of high protein, low calorie snacks, there isn't anything that really, oh, like, this is fantastic, like, that it just really ticks the boxes. There isn't really anything there. The easiest way to adhere to your calories is to stop snacking altogether. How do you stop snacking altogether? You make your main meals big enough and satisfying enough that there is a tendency not to snack. That tendency is removed altogether, and therefore your adherence, like I said, goes up. We could then look at some smart swaps. Some top picks here we'd be looking at. So if we're looking at whole eggs, 2 whole eggs for 12 grams of protein, or 250 mils of egg whites for 26 grams of protein. Now, what I like to do here is, if I'm going to make scrambled eggs, for example, I'll use 1 whole egg, because whole eggs are, the yolk is highly nutritious in an egg, and I wouldn't want to exclude that altogether. But I would just have like a 1 egg and maybe 200 or 300 mils worth of egg whites. When you see the actual volume that this makes, the amount of scrambled eggs that this makes, it is incredible. I mean, you see the calories in egg whites, it is just a protein source purely. And it's fantastic for, you remember, protein is the most satisfying macronutrient. So if we crank protein up, we're going to crank satiety up. If we crank satiety up, then we know we're going to have no dramas whatsoever adhering to our calories. If we go from cheddar cheese to even a light cheese, which is lower in fat and lower in calories, and increases that protein per calorie ratio in a more favourable manner, that would be a good swap. Or you could go the whole hog and go cottage cheese, a light cottage cheese, again, significantly higher in protein with a significant reduction in calories there as well, and a really handy little snack as well, a high protein snack that you could potentially have. Another easy one is going from full fat Greek yogurt to something like a high protein Skyr if you're in the UK, or YoPro, or even a light Greek yogurt here. Again, we're just reducing the fat content and ultimately reducing the calories there as well. Now, this isn't asking you to do anything differently at all. You can literally do what you're doing. You can make the same things that you're making. I can make a ham cheese salad wrap or a ham cheese salad sandwich and have a light cottage cheese on it. I can have yogurts and yogurt, berries and oats or whatever it may be, and just have a light yogurt there. There's no difference in the food that you're asking to intake, and therefore there is less friction. It makes it a lot easier. Same way, you can still have scrambled eggs. Just add some egg whites into that and increase that protein, increase the volume, increase the satiety. And again, if we're looking at the protein per calorie ratio, or the protein per calorie MVPs, egg whites, whey protein, chicken breast, tuna and water. You know, lean animal sources are always going to be the best options here. And then if we've got some hacks or goals that we're looking for, you know, at least 30 to 40 grams of protein in every single meal that I'm having. And then if I'm going to have a snack, you know, it wants to be like a 20 plus gram of protein snack. So every time I'm eating, I want a protein source with it. So if I'm having some fruit, I want a yogurt that goes along with it. If I'm having a main meal, it has to have an animal-based protein source in it. Like, it just, there's no way around it. That's how we should be eating if we want to improve our outcomes. And if you want to hit your protein targets for the day, it doesn't have to be hard. It could be a sandwich with chicken in it. It could be a wrap with chicken in it. Like, I'm not asking people to sit down and make a steak salad and veg for lunch. You know, like, we can be realistic with what we're trying to do, but there just has to be a protein source. Every single time you eat, there has to be a protein source, okay? the rule of 10, which when we look at our MyFitnessPal's or MyFitnessPal diary, we should be getting at least 10 grams of protein for every 100 calories. So when you look at a protein source, does it meet that 10 grams of protein per 100 calories? If it does, happy days. Yeah, that's a good protein source. If it doesn't, then, maybe there could be a better option there. And lastly, evenly distributing that out over the day, that's semantics at that point. I really don't think that has a massive impact. That we should be looking at overall intake first and foremost. And that's it. That's as detailed as it needs to be. That's as hard as it needs to be. A lean protein source and an ability to review our MyFitnessPal and be aware of what was high in protein and can we increase the volume of those things? Can it increase the chicken, the fish, the Greek yogurt, the eggs, or the egg whites, the tuna, whey protein powder? Can I increase those protein sources? Can I look to spread things out? Can I look to get a protein source in every single meal? Is the protein source, fitting into that rule of 10? And that's it. And then, if we really want to get super nailed on with it, then we could look for an even spread throughout the day. If you get this stuff right, guys, honestly, the snacking will fall off a cliff. It is not your main meals that is getting you fat. It's not your main meals that's holding you back. You don't need smaller portion sizes. It's all those other discretionary calories. It's all the other little trips to the pantry. It's all the little scraps that you eat off the kids' plates. That's what's killing you, and it's because you're not satisfied. If you're not satisfied, we need to pull on the levers of satiety, and protein is one of the biggest, probably the biggest lever that we can pull on here.